is the theme of this conference and what is the key word in the title? Inspire. Do you like doing word derivatives?
Yes.
Give me a derivative of inspiring. Inspiration. 1, 2, 3. Inspiration. 1, 2, 3.
Inspiration.
Okay, at this conference we also heard a kind of synonym or a related word beginning with C. It was in the title of some talks and people mentioned this as well, connected to inspiration. Which word is it? Creativity. All together.
Creativity.
So we're talking about Shakespearean language teaching and we're talking about inspiration. We're talking about creativity. Shakespeare uses another word beginning with I, which we need when we're acting, which we need when we're teaching. A word connected, a lexical set, inspiration, creativity, and imagination. 1, 2, 3.
Imagination.
Now here's a Shakespearean synonym beginning with I. I'll give it to you. Invention. 1, 2, 3.
Invention.
Shakespeare uses this in the first piece you're going to hear, the Muse of Fire. And if you have any difficulties with words, don't worry. Are you advanced students? Hands up. Are you C1? Hands up. C2?
I'm C1.5.
C1.5. By the way, this is my Shakespeare panel. There's one thing wrong with this conference. There is no panel, no plenary panel, no interactive panel. So we've got our very own Shakespeare panel. Let's give them a round of applause. So let's go. Creative tests. Are you ready for the test?
Yes.
Somebody talked, I think it was Maria Theologina, she talked about creativity in tests, and I thought you would like to begin with the test. Are you ready for the first question? The thing about this is you don't have to worry because all of the options A, B, and C are all correct. But you have to choose which you think Shakespeare wrote. Number 1, oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of creativity, imagination, or invention. What do you think he said? Hands up for A. He said creativity. No. Hands up for imagination. Hands up. He said invention. Okay, all right. Well, that is one of our themes, as I said. Good acting, good theatre, and good teaching. What do they have in common? Could this be something they have in common? Inspiration and creativity. Number 2. He says, in the first speech you're going to hear, let us on your forces work. Creative forces, imaginative forces, or imaginary forces? Which do you think our bard said of the 3? Hands up for creative forces. Hands up for imaginative. Hands up for imaginary. Oh, you're getting the rules of the game, I see. In brackets, I've given you the clue, the title of the play, the first 2 letters, to make you work a little bit, because I want your imagination, your imaginary forces to work. HV is what? H5, which play is it? Henry V. Well done, full marks so far. And the third one on the theme of imagination. He says, in the same famous speech, Muse of Fire, peace out, which means, peace out, complete. Complete our imperfections with your what? Knowledge, imagination, thoughts. What do you think Shakespeare said? The actors are not very good. I'm just pretending, they're actually superb. But Shakespeare complained about the fact that his actors weren't always up to it. And his theatre wasn't up to it. And so he needed the involvement of the audience. Does that remind you of something?
Yes.
Okay. We may be imperfect, but the students, the actors, the audience, they all work together using their knowledge, imagination, or thought. What did Shakespeare say? Okay, I said they're all correct, so you can make as many mistakes as you like. Well done. We'll see what the answer is as we begin in a minute. Let's jump now to another play. Let's look at number 6. You see my t-shirt? The theme is the roles that we play. We teachers, we play many parts. Do you agree? These are just a few examples. Okay, it's an excuse to get you to look at my beautiful body very carefully. Okay? But Shakespeare has the famous speech, the 7 ages of man or woman. Okay? And here is one of them, number 6. The justice or the judge is full of wise Proverbs, sayings, saws. Which do you think he said? Sayings. Saws is a synonym. Proverbs, a related word. Okay, let's see what he says as we get the show on the road. Number 7, and that was from A-Y-L-I. What's the play? As You Like It. Well done, top marks. Why should they? Now this is from a very early play, C.E., very early comedy of errors, and it's a sentence which is of great interest to the women in the audience and the men, but mostly the women. Why should their live freedom, rights than ours be more? It's a woman complaining about inequality between the sexes. Sounds familiar? What do you think Shakespeare says? He has the woman say, why should their liberty, their freedom, their rights than ours be more? Right, good one. It's not the correct answer, but never mind, they're all correct. Okay, and she goes on to say, well, one of the ladies says, your husband is the yoke, the bridle, the master of your will. The master. So do you agree with that? Hands up the women. You agree. The man is the master. Hands up. The man is the bridle. Do you know what a bridle is? What do you put a bridle on? A horse, a donkey, an ass. Well done. Nearly finished. Number 9 may be a difficult word, but we'll try. It's this makes you keep unwed. Not this, but problems of the marriage bed. Number 9. It's this attitude makes you to keep unwed. It's this servitude that makes you to keep unwed. It's this slavery that makes you. This is two sisters speaking. Once it's the sister, the other. That's why you haven't got married. It's this attitude. It's this servitude. It's this slavery. Which do you like? We'll check it as we go along. Okay, that was comedy of errors. And just one last one from number 12, Hamlet. An easy one. With this special advice that you overstep not, number 12, the modesty of nature. He's giving advice to the actors, which may be advice to teachers too. What does he say? With this special advice, you overstep not the modesty of nature. Be natural. This special observance, this special rule. Which one are you going to vote for? Rule. This is giving you something I hope to listen for, so you can keep away. Now, as we begin then, I'll leave the multiple choice there for you to focus on if you want. You can just enjoy what you see, or you can answer the question. But I hope it helps you. Extrinsic motivation, I think Maria called it in her presentation. Now, the first speech then is the Muse of Fire. Now, unfortunately for me, I had to learn this speech in a very short time. Because at Athens TESOL, some of you may have been there, Alan Maley, one of the plenary speakers, promised he was going to do it for the show. But he had to leave suddenly, he had to catch a plane, and I was lumbered with learning this just at the last minute, the whole speech, over a Muse of Fire. And I practiced with my daughter. My daughter Rosie, she listened to me practicing, and I made a lot of mistakes. She says, look, Dad, don't worry about learning this. You made a lot of mistakes, but it makes no bloody difference because they won't understand the words you're saying anyway. So I said, okay, you told me that you're post-advanced, post-C2? Well, Shakespeare is definitely post-C2 level. If you don't understand every word, what do? We get the gist. What was Penny talking about? Reading, get the gist, get the main point. And enjoy the music of Shakespeare, if nothing else. That's my excuse. Now, don't laugh at me if I make mistakes, but it begins, oh, for a muse of fire, that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling sea. Then would the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon, gentle soul, these flat, unraised spirits that have fared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? And may we cram within the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Suppose within these walls are now confined two mighty monarchies, France and England. And imagine when we talk of horses that you hear them and you see them beating their proud hooves in the receiving earth. For it is your thoughts that must now deck our kings. Carry them here and there, jumping over times, turning the accomplishment of many hours into many days into an hourglass. Admit me, chorus-like, at this history, who prologue-like, your humble patience pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge our play. Will you gently hear and kindly judge?
Yes.
Okay. So I slipped up a little bit, but I tried. So everybody can do it. We can use our memories. Now, Shakespeare wrote that speech from Henry V in which century? 16th, 15th, 17th? The 16th century. And it was about the same time that the first English language textbooks came out. And it was about the same time that the first private lessons in English were actually taking place. And hands up if you teach a coursework. You all went to the plenary, you teach a course. Hands up if you do private lessons. Well, in a minute, we're going to look at the first English coursework. But let's look at what people said then about the first private lessons. This is an English language educator in the 16th century talking about private classes. As you listen, tell me if it's still true today, what this educator says about private one-to-one teaching. I like not their manner of teaching, for they will take money beforehand, and when they are paid, they care little for their students. Is that still true? Of course. And their method of teaching, the same educator says, their method, it is only to read some half a page and to translate it. And they will not stay for more than half an hour. Is that true? Half an hour translating half a page? Of course it's not true. We've made a lot of progress. But what about course books? Penny told us some very interesting things about innovation and tradition in course books. But what were the first course books like? In your program, you have an extract from the very first English language course book. And as you hear the dialogue, I want you to tell me whether it's, well, is it communicative or not? If it's communicative, what is the communicative function? There are two friends talking about their neighbour. The other thing I'd like to look out for is the idioms. The person who wrote this course book was also focusing on idioms. Can you spot the idioms? Have you got the extract over right at the beginning of the program? It begins what? What has become? So here are the two friends gossiping about their neighbour. What has become of your neighbour?
As old as you see him, he has of late wedded a young wench of 15 years old.
Then he and she will make the whole Bible together. I mean, the New and Old Testament.
To an old cat, a young mouse.
Old flesh makes good broth. Thank you, Charlie.
So, communicative function, was it communicative? Was it a drill or was it a natural dialogue? This was the 16th century. So when we say innovation, perhaps we should remember what the Greeks said about there is nothing new under the sun. Talking of the sun is going to come into the private lesson, which I'm now going to demonstrate with my students. My French student, her mother tongue is French. She's Princess Catherine. I'm her teacher, I'm King Henry, and she's Princess Catherine. And we've agreed to do a one-to-one lesson. It's right at the beginning of the course, and we're swapping my English for her French. Okay? Your job is to identify the aim of the lesson. Fair Catherine, most fair Kate, will you teach me words of love that will enter your gentle heart?
Your Majesty shall mock it. I cannot speak your England.
Fair Catherine, if you will love me fluently with your French heart, I will be glad to hear you confess it brokenly with your English tongue. Do you like me, Kate?
Pardonnez-moi, je ne comprends pas. What means like me?
Okay, I'll teach Kate. An angel is like you. You are like an angel.
Que dit-il? Que je suis semblable dans les gens?
Well done, Kate. Great.
Oh mon Dieu, les langues des hommes sont pleines de tromperies.
What dost thou say, Kate? What dost thou say? That the tongues of men are full of deceit?
That the tag de meute is beful.
Faith, Kate, I'm glad you speak no better English, because if you did, you'd know how plain I am. I mean, I know no ways to mince my words of love, but directly to say, I love you, Kate.
Sauf votre honneur, je ne comprends pas. Me no understand well.
Okay, let me explain. If you cannot love someone who looks like me, let imagination be your cook.
What means imagination? Cook.
What imagination? Hang on. Piece out my imperfections with your thoughts. Cook, look, a black beard will turn white. A curly head will go bald. A fair face will wither. But a good heart, Kate, a good heart is the sun and the moon, or rather the sun and not the moon, for the sun shines bright and never changes. Dost thou love me, Kate? Canst thou?
Is it possible that I should love an enemy de France?
But Kate, if you loved me, you would love the friend of France. Because I love France so well. I will not part with a village of it. I will have it all mine. And Kate, when France is mine and I am yours, then yours is France and you are mine.
I cannot tell what that means.
All right. Let me tell you in French. But my French will hang on my tongue like a newly married wife around her husband's neck.
Oh, Dieu!
Hang on. Oh, here we are. Je prends sous la possession de France, et quand vous avez la possession de moi, donc votre et France et vous êtes mienne.
Le français que vous parlez est le mieux que l'anglais que je parle.
No, it's not. My French isn't better than your English, but canst thou understand this much English? Can you love me, Kate?
I cannot tell.
Sayest thou my flower de luce?
Flower de luce? What means flower de luce?
I'll tell you later. What sayest thou, la plus belle Catherine du monde?
Oh, your majesty, in our France, to deceive the most wise mademoiselle that is en France.
All right, forget my false French. Let me tell you in simple, true English. I love you, Kate. Canst thou love me? What dost thou say?
Is it possible?
Kate, can you love me in spite of this face? You know, Kate, as I grow older, my appearance, I will get better and better. I will appear much nicer. You see, my comfort is that old age, that great destroyer of beauty, can do no more to spoil my face. I'm at my worst now. So if you have me, Kate, you will have me better and better. Will you have me, Kate? Tell me in your broken music, because your voice is music, and your English broken. What dost thou say, Kate? Tell me thy answer, tell me thy mind in your gentle, broken English will you have me?
That will content me.
Great, fantastic, that's the correct answer, Kate. Now, let me kiss your hand and call you my queen.
Excusez-moi, monseigneur, ma foi, je ne veux pas. Je vous supplie, monseigneur.
Well, let me kiss your lips then.
Kiss
Yes.
the lips
Your lips.
devant le mariage.
Won't you say, does everybody speak French? Won't you say yes or no? Say yes or no? I will never know. That's the importance of learning French as an international language.
Love is an international language.
So, thank you very much, my princess. So teaching then is often compared to acting. And Shakespeare opens this famous speech, The 7 Ages of Man, like this. And let's hear the 7 ages of man or woman, and think about the 7 ages, the roles that we teachers play. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts being 7 ages.
At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms.
And then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and his shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school.
And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with woeful ballad made to his mistress, eyebrow.
And then a soldier, full of strange oaths, and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in battle, seeking the bubble, reputation, even in the cannon's mouth.
And then the justice, in fair round belly with good capon lined, and eyes severe, and beard in severe cut. Full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part.
The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his useful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice, turning against towards a childish trouble, pipes and whistles in his sound.
Last scene of this strange, eventful story is second childishness, mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans sense, sans everything.
Now let's hear two sisters, Adriana and Lucia. Adriana is the older one and she's married. This is Adriana. And she's complaining, she's very unhappy about her marriage. Her young sister Luciana is not married and is giving her advice. And this is Shakespeare asking very early on in his career the question, why should their liberty than ours be more? Okay, so let's hear the advice young Lucy gives to big sister Adriana. No, she's not married and she is.
Be patient, sister.
Why should their liberty and ours be more?
Because their business still lies out of door.
When I do what he doesn't like it.
Oh, you know, he is the bridle of your will.
Only donkeys will be bridled so.
Man is master of the beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls, lord of the wide world and wild watery seas. Husbands are masters of their females.
It's the servitude that makes you to keep unwed.
Not these, but troubles of the married bed.
Not this, but troubles of the marriage. So there are troubles of the marriage bed once you get married. But before before Adriana got married, she was young, beautiful. For me, she still is. But let's go back in time to the two most famous young lovers in the whole of English literature, who are Romeo and Juliet. So now Luciana becomes our Juliet, and there she is on her balcony. And she's going to be visited in the garden of her home by young Romeo. Okay, now this is the perfect love. This is before things, as you saw, went wrong. But there was a time when they were passionately in love. And this is Romeo expressing his passion for Juliet. And this is, notice the way he addresses his young love, Juliet. Over to you, Jane.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. Glorious this night is the winged messenger of heaven.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. 'Tis but thy name is my enemy. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, but any other word would smell as sweet. Oh, Romeo, for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
Thank you, Romeo. So we don't want Romeo to disappear yet, do we? We want a little bit more of him. As we've got him, we're going to look at Hamlet now and his advice to the actors. We play many parts, obviously, we said. Lovers, teachers, actors. Now, what is a good actor according to Shakespeare Hamlet? Now, this is where Hamlet's going to give us advice about good acting, and as you listen, I want you to try and make connections, if there are any, with good teaching. Okay? So what is a good actor, please, Hamlet?
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. Nor do saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use it all gently, gently. Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action. And with this special observance, that you overstep not the modesty of nature, or anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold, as it were, the mirror up to nature.
But you are unhappy about one specific actor, the clown. What is it about the clown, Hamlet, that you're not happy with? What does he do that upsets you so much?
And let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. For there are some clowns that will themselves laugh to set on some quantity.
Okay, we get the message. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, you were great. And you see what the clown does? He talks too much, he talks out of turns, and he does stupid things to make people laugh. When there are important things going on the stage or in the classroom. So, but this clown He wants to play all the parts, of course. He wants to be the lover, the tyrant, the lion, but he's also a clown with a dream. So let's hear the clown's dream.
I have had a most rare vision. I have had a dream. Must have waited a man to say what dream it was. This man is but the last. He goes about to expound this dream. Before I was, no man can tell what before I was. Before I had but a fool, if you will. I would say what before I had. The eye of man hath not seen, the ear of man hath not heard, the tongue of man is not able to say, his tongue to conceive, not his heart to explore what my dream was. I will get Peter Thrace to write a song about his dream, and I will sing it at the end of the play.
So now you can tell me, were you a clown at school? Come on. Who was the clown? Well, I have no hesitation in admitting I was the clown. I was the class clown, but I became a language teacher, as you can see. How did I become a language teacher? Well, it was like this very quickly. I was at Bristol University and I saw this poster in the university English department which said, teaching jobs in Greece. I'd never taught before. I was curious to see Greece for the first time. I'd never been. And I had to go to London for an interview. And in this hotel in London, there was a man from Greece. And I think it was my first encounter with English as a lingua franca, because he asked me some questions, and this is what he said. The acid test was to answer this particular question. So, Mr. Prodrom, you would like to be a teacher of English. Well, can you answer this question? How many parts does the verb to be half? I said, pardon? How many parts does the verb to be half? I just finished university. I was studying literature, Shakespeare. I said, I don't know, two. Two? Why? Two. To be or not to be? And he laughed and I got the job. So thanks to Hamlet and the most famous speech in English literature, you know it, of course. And you know it to be or not. Let's do it together, shall we, very quickly. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare body? Who would fathers bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but at the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country from whose born no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thoughts, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of, well, better late than never. Thank you very much. So that's to be and not to be. It was a famous speech in English, and now it's time, I think we need a song.
I was then a little tiny boy with a hair of the wind and the rain. A foolish thing was but a toy, for the rain it raineth every day. With a hair of the wind and the rain, for the rain it raineth every day. But when I came to man's estate, with a hail of the wind and the rain, gainst knave and thief made shut up their gate, for the rain it raineth every day. With a hail of the wind and the rain, and the rain it raineth every day. But when I came alas to wife, with the hail of the wind and the rain, by swaggering I could never thrive, for the rain it raineth every day. With the hail of the wind and the rain, and the rain it raineth every day. Long, long ago the world began, with a hail of the wind and the rain, but that's all while our play is done, and we'll strive to please you every day. With a hail of the wind and the rain, for the rain it raineth every day.
That was the full song from Twelfth Night, one of Shakespeare's happiest comedies, and also from King Lear, one of his biggest tragedies. So it's obviously a song that Shakespeare was very fond of, the full song. Was that the song you had in mind? Is that the song you were going to sing? So let's hear a little bit of King Lear before we draw to a close. This is King Lear, a very old man who's had a very difficult time, and to the 7 ages that we've heard so far, he adds another one, the 8th age. I wonder if you can spot the other age that Shakespeare mentions here, through King Lear, towards the end of that wonderful play.
You must be patient. We came crying hither. Thou knowest the first time that we smell the air, we gall and cry. I will preach thee. Mark me. When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools.
So we have the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. We have the infant again here wailing and crying. And the 8th role was the fool. So you have a very important part to play. But it's a sad note. We don't want to finish on such a sad note, do we? So let's go to something a little bit more cheerful. Be cheerful now, sweet ladies. Be cheerful, gentle soul. Our rebels now are ended. These, our actors, as I foretold you, were but spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And, like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherits, shall dissolve. And, like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made of. Now a little life is rounded in the sleep.
Our lessons now are ended. These, our students, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this session, the cloud-capped schools, the gorgeous gadgets, the solemn teachers, the classroom itself, yea, all which it inherit shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial conference, faded, leave not a word behind. Teaching is such stuff as dreams are made of.
If we actors have offended you, think only this and all is mended. Imagine you've been sleeping here while these visions did appear, and everything that you have seen has been nothing but a dream.
But that's all one. But our play is done. And we'll try to please you every day.
Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies.
Good night to you, gentles all. Good night. Good night.